Today, we're talking to Jacinta about all the sacrifices that she made to get to where she is today. Jacinta's been in this business longer than most of you guys have been alive. Okay? Super intelligent, super humble, and also successful. And so there's always something to learn from successful people. So Jacinta, without further ado, I'm going to close my lips and allow you to share your story with everybody so they have a better idea of who you are.
Hello, everyone.
Tell us your story, Jacinta. Tell me, how did you get started in the home cleaning business?
Well, first I was managing a home and I would, do all the cleaning and all the house managing. And then I learned a lot about cleaning, and then I started cleaning for other people as well. And at the same time, I was going to school, learning English. And that is a long time ago. So I've been here for 35 years.
Were you born in the United States or did you come from a different country?
I came from Brazil.
At what age?
I was 23.
So you hadn't spoke English since you're 23 years old.
I learned some English in school back in Brazil, but nothing like to come here and communicate with other people. I was kind of mute.
You were working as a manager for a house, learning English. Like, how did you learn? Like, what was your strategy for learning English? Like, what did you actually do?
So I was living with this family, watching their kids and managing their house, right? And also going to school. I figured I have to be living with Americans so I can learn the language, right? And so that was how I started.
So you got paid to learn English.
For sure.
Hack the system. Hack the system. So good. So you were managing these guys' house, and so you were cleaning their home. What led you to the actually starting a business? Like, where did that come about?
I went to school for accounting, and so I kind of thought that I had a good idea of how to run a company, knowing what people were looking, in the cleaning business. And I really liked the detailed type of cleaning, and I was very organized. I wasn't a good cleaner, but I was very organized. And so I thought, I can do this. I can start a business. And I started by hiring 2 people, and my marketing, it was very interesting. It was all done by flyers. I hired 2 people to do my marketing for me, which was putting flyers on a mailbox. And that worked really well. So they would be like putting flyers all day for me, and I was getting calls. And back then I didn't have a printer yet, so I had to write down directions, right? And then I got a printer. I started a long time ago without the technology that is available now. So it was so much harder. And the process of going into the homes for the quotes, writing down directions, following directions from the paper and driving. So picture that in your head, please. It was not easy, but I did it. I was so motivated. I could see that I could make money by just, doing this cleaning business. And by then I was not cleaning anymore because I cleaned a little bit, a few houses, but I wanted to open the company and start a business. Yeah. So I just hired 2 people. And from there we grew.
So you had 2 people you hired as cleaners. Were these the same 2 people that you hired to go put flyers on mailboxes, or were those 2 separate people?
2 separate. I hired a crew of 2 people, and to do the cleaners, and then the other 2 people to do the marketing.
Unlike most people, do clean for a period of time and they learn the skill and they get good at it, and then they sometimes have difficulties offloading that because they become good at it. You right away decided, like, I want to turn this into a business right away, and you even hired 2 marketing people to go around putting on mailboxes. Like, do you remember how you compensated them?
Yeah, I paid them by the hour.
And like, how many hours would they work a week?
So I would say about 40 hours.
Wow. That's
amazing. It was a lot. The marketing, it was working, and they were working long hours. They are older people. And so I was helping them because they didn't want to clean, but they could do this for me, and it worked out for everyone. So
okay, this is cool. So we have 2 cleaners, we have 2 people doing marketing, and then tell me about the growth from there. Like, what was your next step?
So the next step, we just kept hiring more people, learning more about the business, but still I didn't have like data. I had a computer. I didn't get a CRM until like maybe 4 years ago. Didn't really utilize it with the scheduling, but just hiring more people and sometimes even going to fill in.
That's awesome. So we just started hiring more cleaners, and then tell me like your marketing process and then your sales process. So at the time, like how were you, like when somebody would call you for a quote, like what was your process?
I would go to their homes, walk through the house with the client, then I would either give them a quote on site if they wanted to, or I would just call them with a quote later. So that was the process.
And how many of those would you do a week?
See, I don't have the data.
Yeah, rough. Like, were
Yeah.
you doing like one or two a day? Were you doing like one a day, like 3 or 4 a day? Like just like rough numbers.
Some days would be like maybe two, maybe one, or none, or max would be like from 1 to 3. It depended.
That's awesome. And so, what were you using in order to communicate with the clients, and then how would the cleaners know where to go?
I would just, have a printout for them, the name of the client, all the information, the size of the house, address, and everything. They will get that piece of sheet, have it in a folder. If it was a recurring client, have it in a folder, and they know where to go and what the instructions were. So that's how it was. And every week they would come to the office and get their schedule for the following week. So that's how we did it.
And how many years did you do it that way for?
25 years.
But it worked. It worked good enough.
Yeah, it was harder, but it worked.
Let's fast forward a little bit, Jacinta. So started doing this business. We were doing pen and paper. We were doing in-person walkthroughs. We weren't really using technology. Oh, what did you use for a phone?
My cell phone.
When I first met you, Jacinta, I actually met you because you were actually working with a marketing agency. You were trying to get leads for your business. Like up to this point, like did you ever like try to pay for any sort of coaching or any sort of help to try to help you grow your business or systematize it or make it easier for you to run it?
I had an interview with one company, which is Grow My Business, and I just didn't click with that person. I didn't think that the program they had was for me. Yeah. So no, I haven't worked with anyone else before you.
But you were working with a marketing agency. Like, what was your intention with that? Like what problem were you trying to solve by hiring a marketing agency?
Well, because by then, doing the flyers, it was just no longer working. Technology that had so much more to offer, and I needed someone to do the marketing. I had no experience in doing it.
And so we started paying a third-party marketing agency. And then how did you hear about Katie and I?
This is a funny story because I was getting leads from him, but I wasn't closing them. I had no experience with selling on the phone. I really was trying not to go in homes anymore because I wanted to take the next step, which was not do the marketing and sell all on the phone, but I was really bad at it. And so because I wasn't closing, and I told Adam, I said, look, this is not working for me. I have the leads, but no one is buying from me. And he told me about you. It's like, oh, you should check Logan. He's got this podcast and he talks about the cleaning business. Maybe you can get some insights from him. And then that's what I did. He gave me the link and all. And I started listening to you and I was like, man, he is the person that I need to do the coaching with because he will help me with his system and everything. Because I had nothing. I had no data. I knew I was making money. I had no doubt of that, but I wanted to do more. And my dream was to have data and know exactly what the business was doing and what the constraints were. I needed the help. And there you were.
Yeah. When we started working together, it was about 1.5 years ago. I heard your story and I was like, oh yeah, like you definitely are like, you obviously know what you're doing. Like you've been in the business for a long time. And then I started asking the questions about like the system stuff. And you told me that you do things on pen and paper. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, this is like, in order for me to be able to help you, like I gotta help you, get the business so it's 2025 or at the time 2024 ready. And it was gonna take a lot of work. Like before we can even get to like strategy, like we have to just create a system beneath us so that way we can start growing the business on top of that system. And do you remember those first couple sessions of trying to get set up on Go High Level and getting set up on ZenMaid? Do you remember those?
So challenging. The things that are so easy for you guys, For me, I knew very little about technology and all that stuff. It was hard, but I knew that I wanted to learn. And not only that, but the way you helped me see that I could do it, I kept going and going every day, wanting to say no more of this. This is not working for me. But it never really wouldn't be something that I would have done because I was all in it, even if it was hard. I mean, I would be working until very late to learn.
I remember asking you, I don't know if you remember this, but asking you, like, how do your cleaners like it? Not having to come to your house every single week and getting a route sheet. And do you remember your answer to that?
They are amazed by how easy and nice it is because they had to keep their time, what time they started, all on paper. They had to see the instructions of the house, even though they are subcontractors, they still, each house has a different instructions because of products and preferences and all that stuff. So they love the CRM and having their schedule on their phone. It was just amazing.
We talked about too is like all the clients were paying with either cash or check, and it's like a full-time job just to collect money. We got a full-time money collector, and so that was another thing that we also did is we started having new clients and even some existing clients start to pay online with credit cards.
Yeah.
That was another big thing that we made. And then we threw away your phone. Do you remember that? We're just like, gone. This phone is done.
It is great. Being organized and having a place for everything, where to look, for your leads, to look at your finances, and everything is just, you're able to track, your system. It really works if we follow, and it helped me a lot.
And when you started coaching with me, do you remember roughly about like what your monthly revenue was?
Yeah, it was about 49,000.
That's awesome.
By then, it was almost 25 years.
Yeah. So been in business for about 25 years and was doing just about $50,000. What did you do last month? Just out of curiosity.
73,000.
What about the month before?
It was 66.
What do you project to do this month?
This month, we are now at 71.9.
It's not a fluke, basically. Like it wasn't just like a one special month. That's what I wanted to see.
No.
Right. And so what were the things that really allowed you to go from $49,000 now to above $70,000 a month? Like, what were the skill sets that you had deficits in that you have closed the gap on those deficits?
I don't know if I closed the gap on this, but for sure was selling on the phone. For me, it was so hard. In-home, when you do the in-home quote, you see the client, they see you, the body language, and you see the house, and it's so much easier. But on the phone, I was so tense. I could not sell. So as I kept getting better and getting your advices and just working at it, and Lucas doing the call for, what is it called?
Role playing?
The role play. It was just really working really hard on sales on the phone. And I have still a lot to grow and to get better. But now I can actually connect with people because I realize that for you to sell, you really need to try to solve the client's problem. And it's not about you. And I was making it about me when people said no. And when the voucher was, I just wanted to be able to help the client. And I think I'm slowly be learning that that's the key for me. At least the key is to be able to help the client on whatever they are looking to get help with and connect with them, listen to them. And so sales was my biggest, it still is, but I can sell now.
How many sales have I done for you, Jacinta?
None.
Exactly. Like you've done 100% of them. And so what's the goal for you?
My goal is 83,000. 83 would be awesome. That is something that I have wanted to do. Now that I have the system, I have the VA that's helping me. Hopefully I'll be hiring a office manager sometime soon. So I wanted to reach that 83,000 so I can stop working as much as I am now, so I can have people work for me and still making the money and having more free time. So 83,000 for now. And obviously, once I get there, I'll have a new goal. But for now, it's 83,000 a month.
It's because you're so greedy. You're just so greedy. You always
I
want
am
more.
so
You're
greedy.
so greedy. Here's kind of the unique thing I want to highlight too. That's a little bit unique about your business versus a lot of people who I work with is that you actually have contractors. What do you see as the difference between you having contractors versus like everybody else inside the community? Like, what sort of challenges do they have that maybe allow you to be the only person in the office at this moment doing $70,000, where that's not really realistic when you have W-2 employees? Like, tell us about that a little bit.
The people that I hire, they are all professionals. I don't need to train them. I don't need to hire a trainee. I don't need any of that. So, and not only that, but I do not supply anything to them. They got all the equipment. They use their own cars.
You run a legit contractor business, not one of those ones that we treat contractors like employees.
No, I don't have a lot of the work that you guys do, keeping up with employees. So I like the fact that I don't have to have the expenses of having an office, storage place for the supplies. So it gives them more freedom and also me less work.
What's it going to take for you to continue to grow to this 83K a month mark, which is the $1 million run rate?
Stay consistent on what I'm doing. Also learn the skills that I still acquiring, which, you know, the leadership skills and communication, that is the things that I'm still working on. But it's just being consistent. And I think once you stay consistent in what you're doing and you have a system, you can definitely grow your business, have more people helping.
Talk a little bit about the community. Like, how has the community been helpful for you in this journey, in this process as well?
It's been really helpful. Everybody has been really helpful to me. Like when I see all the information that is given on the community, I don't contribute too much, but I go there every time that I'm looking for something. I go on, if it is marketing or sales or whatever it is, I just go to the community and I look for answers or what the constraints people are having that gives me strength to keep going, that I'm not the only one that's having the problem. People are talking about the problem that they're facing on a daily basis. So the community has helped me a lot.
All right, just to leave us with one piece of advice here. One piece of advice that you would give to yourself back when you were at that $49,000 a month. Like, what piece of advice would you give yourself back then?
Just keep doing the hard work. When you focus on what your goals are, whether they are easy or hard, just trust in yourself. If you do the hard work, you will succeed at what you're doing, because if you're putting yourself in the position to learn more and more, just keep going and be consistent. It's what my advice to myself back then was. Just keep going. Just don't be afraid to fail. If it doesn't go your way, you'll find a different way to do it. But you just keep going and keep learning. That's what the advice I give me, knowing what I know today.
Thank you, Jacinta, for showing up today and showing your story, and honestly just always working hard and always doing what's required, regardless if you want to do it or not. Appreciate you for showing up. And yeah, if you guys are inside the community, appreciate you guys so much for giving us an opportunity to help you. If you're not inside the community and you want to grow a $1 million business, not a $20,000 a month business, not a $40,000 a month business, but if you actually want to grow a $1 million business, then we can help you. If you really want that next level commitment, you want to hang out with the Jacintas of the community and like be around people who are doing what's required, there should be a link somewhere that you can click on and you can apply for the coaching and see if you're a good fit or not.